It's driving range season again, and I'm going to show you how 3 driving range balls are going to be more beneficial to your game than a full bucket of driving range balls. Let's get stuck into this lesson. Guys, I'm Matt Fry, PGA professional, and I have worked at driving ranges for a long time, and I'm going to share with you today in this lesson why these 3 balls are going to be better for you and stop making mistakes and also stop wasting money. But before we do that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, totally free to do. Hit the button down below. Let's take a look at why these are going to be beneficial for you. So I'm going to share with you the 3 things that I think if you adopt these into your driving range practice over the winter, you're going to get the most from it, because I think there are some questions, and the third one definitely is a question that we hear all the time. If you adopt this, hopefully you answer that and we see that you actually put good time and money spent here to use when you get out on the golf course. And our first thing is purpose. What are you down at the driving range for? I think a lot of people come to the driving range, especially in England, because the courses get wet, the course is shut, it's not nice going out in the cold and the rain, and we just think, well, that's the thing that you do. You go to the driving range during the winter and you hit your balls there instead of out on the golf course. But if you're just whacking the balls willy-nilly without actually any purpose to it, you know, I can stand into this golf ball and the chances are I'm actually going to hit my target here because the field is massive. It's nearly as big as the fairway that we would see at the St Andrews first hole. There's loads of flags out there, so what am I aiming at? What have I come down here for? Am I trying to improve a certain aspect of my game? Am I trying to work on my driving? Am I trying to work on my swing techniques? Am I trying to work on my routine? Am I trying to work on my grip? Am I working on my pitching? But if you come down here and just whack balls willy-nilly, because that's what we do when we get to the driving range, straight away we've already got a foundation that is not going to transform from when you hit it nicely here to actually out on the golf course. So the first thing that I want you to do, and whether you do this in the notes on your phone or you book a lesson with a PGA Pro, you have a sort of a little look at your game, maybe through the ShotScope app or your way of collecting data, you say, well, what am I going to go and do at that driving range? This golf ball here now, I want to work on my 70-yard pitches. There's a flag out here at 70 yards, so I'm going to have an intention behind every shot that I hit when I get to the driving range. Don't just whack them willy-nilly out onto the field, because that's going to get you nowhere fast. So have an intention and have a purpose behind every shot and a reason for coming down to the driving range. One of the better pitches I've hit there. It's about 10 foot. Oh, it's going in. Go on. Oof. So the second big thing that I want you to do when you go down to the driving range, we've now understood that we need a purpose for being here and what we're going to do when we're going to do it. We need to get some feedback. The amount of times I see people actually come down with a purpose. They might have had a lesson with a pro, let's say. They've come down to Trafford Centre, they've had a lesson with Tom, and he said, you need to go and work on your grip, or you need to go and work on your path. You're getting too much out to in. They come down, they get 50 balls, and they just hit them. Where's the feedback to tell you whether you've actually got better? Is it in the ball flight? Because one thing we can do is pick a target. That's a good way, probably the best way of feedback, because the ball tells us everything we need to know. Is that ball going to your desired target? So when you come to the range and you're looking down the range here and you get onto the mat will point out in a certain direction. Move yourself, set targets up as you're going through it, because like I say, if you're hitting some shots and you're aiming at a certain flag and it's curving away from it, or starting left of it, starting right of it, that's a good feedback for us. We can say, well, the ball needs to start closer to the target or move on to it. Another thing could be, we've all got things like these, the alignment cades. I'm working on something for me at the moment in my golf swing that requires me to change how I'm moving throughout the golf swing. So putting into place a drill maybe that gives you a parameter or a feeling that you have to try and work within is a great way to get some feedback. So for me, I'm trying not to slide through the golf ball as much, and I've been hitting golf balls in my studio with something just outside my lead hip here to allow me to notice if I do actually go sliding through it. Bit of feedback here to tell me that I've slid, as where if I achieve the move I'm trying to achieve, I don't hit the little head cover here, and that's my feedback. I've not done it. So make sure when you go to the driving range, you're getting some kind of feedback. It might be the top tracer, it's going to be from a target, it might be from a drill, but you've decided that you need to go to the driving range to work on something. Now gain some feedback on that to help you see if you're actually doing what it is you're trying to do. And the third and final thing, why the third ball will be more important than a full basket of golf balls, is practicing with a little bit of pressure. Now, the big question that we always get asked is, why do I hit it so good on the range, yet I can't do it on the golf course? Like I said earlier, this field that we see here at Trafford Golf Centre, it's massive. It's the size of that 1st and 18th fairway at St Andrews. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 flags out there. There's 4 or 5 greens, there's bunkers, and there's about 180 yards from side to side for me to hit it into. And a lot of the time, because we don't have any purpose, we don't get any feedback when we actually come to feeling any pressure like we would do at the first tee at St Andrews. Like I say, a massive fairway, yet you get onto that tee and your heart starts going, you're nervous. It's the biggest fairway in golf, yet you're worried about missing it because there's a pressure there. You want to hit a good shot, you want to find that fairway. When I come to the driving range and I've got a bucket of balls of 100, 250, whatever it may be, it doesn't really matter, I'll just hit them out there. If they hit the grass, great. If they hit the fence, well, no real repercussion of that. So what we need to do is practice with some pressure. You've maybe warmed up, you've gone through your drills to see whatever your coach or whatever you decided that you're going to do to change to get better on your golf swing. You've done that, you've got your feedback. Now it's time to get a little bit of pressure involved. So what I would do is I would finish every practice session down at the driving range with maybe 5, 10 golf balls with the desired swing change you've been making, whether it's with a driver, trying to slice it less, whether it's with an iron to strike it better to get your desired distance, maybe it's trying to get it closer with a wedge. Put that to the test now. So for me, there is a green out here as we look that is at 180 yards, the back right flag, and I would take 10 golf balls now and say, okay, I know that my green stats at the moment, I've been hitting about 3 out of 10 greens. I've worked on my feedback drills, I'm trying to change something. Let's see if it can withstand a little bit of pressure now. I'm going to give myself 10 shots and I'm going to see if I can actually hit them to this target and record the actual outcome. That is a big thing. If you've got a little diary, I used to do this with all my students, try and get them to record diaries of their progress on their pressure to see, oh well, yeah, you actually are getting better. So when you go to the golf course, you've got a good positive example of what's actually happening. So go through a routine, whether it's that practice swing, pick a target like you would do out on the golf course. I'm going to hit a little fade off the 250 and approach this shot as if it were a shot out on the golf course. I know what my feeling is, I've had my feedback drill, and now I've got to trust it, the work that I've just done, that I can hit the green. Oh no, I've missed it, pushed it right, and that is a sign of my old swing coming through there. So guess what, I now need to go and work on that feedback drill a little bit more and ingrain it, because the old swing's still there. Oh, that's better, more like it. So to summarise, guys, 3 things that I want you to do to make sure your range sessions are actually going to help you become a better golfer out on the golf course. Have some purpose, get some feedback, and actually work under a little bit of pressure at the end. If you can do those 3 things, we should start to see that the driving range does actually improve you. Also, a little bonus tip, if you're spending a lot of time down at the driving range, maybe invest in a range card, because you'll get a better deal on golf balls. Balls are getting expensive nowadays. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that lesson. If you have, make sure you subscribe, and also check out another video that we have here about a full driving range session and what it is, what that looks like. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.